Hi, I'm Sonia Choquette, and I'm so excited to share this new course with you, Coming Home, Discovering and Embracing Your Authentic Self. I was motivated to create this course because I have actually been in the process of discovering and embracing an even deeper, more profound, more gratified level of my authentic self over the past few years, having been through many layers of disruption and loss and transformation and change and growth and heights and depths that I felt it was really valuable to share not only my journey, but in the process of the last few years, and especially since my book, Walking Home, A Pilgrimage from Humble to Healed, has been published, I have heard back from so many people saying that what's happening or what has happened with me and the transformations I've been facing are also happening for them. So I do feel like this process of shifting and shedding artificial selves and old forms of ourself is more universal than exclusive. And so I'd like to just offer in this course some of the tools that have really served me in the process of coming home. And coming home not just to this idealized self that I was as a child, but really coming home to the person that I have become and am fully today. It's been my experience as a teacher, as a guide, working with people individually and consulting with them that there is generally a profound sense of loneliness and emptiness that so many people are feeling, and goodness knows have tried to fill that void in ways that aren't working, and probably the first way is to feel like my loneliness is really for the soulmate or the significant other or the idealized relationship, and if I just had that love affair, then that loneliness that I'm feeling will go away. And certainly we have a romantic culture and the happily ever after belief and soft focus, slow motion, if I just meet the right one. But sooner or later, even in the best of relationships, that dream or that projection or that yearning that we hope to be filled begins to fade. I know in the Western culture we've also tried to fill it up with materialism, with things, buy this, buy that, or we try to numb it out with social media and computers and outward oriented distractions that go, be busy, be consumed, be paying attention to everybody all the time. And I even believe that people are beginning to be weary of that as well. So what I believe, and from my experience in my own life and working with people as intimately as I have for as long as I have, and digging as deeply as I've dug, is that I believe we're really lonely for our own spirit, for contact with our true nature. And that's the void, that's the missing link, that's the piece of us that we're searching for. And it's a good thing that we're yearning for. It's what differentiates us from all other animals is that we yearn for a deeper, more authentic life, a deeper, more authentic expression of who we are. And the word authentic and the word author come from the same root. We want to write our lives, be the authority of our lives, be the author of our experience in a way that brings us peace, in a way that brings us satisfaction and peace of mind, and might quiet our nervous system instead of being overstimulated and seeking and stretching and running, and goodness knows I have done that myself. So this course is really about pushing pause on all these mental attempts and maybe even emotional attempts, and allowing ourselves to come home to the self that that is just wonderful as we are, to the true self and the true spirit of who we are, our true nature, what's naturally good about us, and begin to trust that. First, make contact with that. First, begin to really recognize who we are. And in even that word, recognize, to recognize, to wake up our consciousness and see ourselves and witness ourselves and live from a place of that deep, whole-hearted, whole beingness that we're designed to be. So that's what this course is about. It's really about sharing the tools I've learned so far, maybe offer some suggestions and some steps for that journey back home, that awareness, because it's a pilgrimage that's internal. Many people have written to me or asked me, do I have to go on the Camino de Santiago and travel on that kind of a pilgrimage to come home? And well, that was such an extraordinary adventure and a time out in my own life. I really believe that the kind of pilgrimage that we need to make is just one to turn our awareness inward and start taking the steps back to our true nature. And you can do that in your own home. It's really a matter of a consciousness and attention and focus and really deciding not to ignore that yearning any longer, but rather to face it and not be afraid of it and not run away from it and turn toward that effort, because to come home to your authentic self does take effort. It takes a desire that will maybe face how your life is constructed now and maybe dismantle that life and begin to take it apart. And those are scary things. Life can be frightening when we step into the unknown. But one of my favorite expressions is, well, the worst thing that could happen to you is nothing. So can you imagine if you wouldn't make that journey, how your life would play out? Can you imagine if you wouldn't take the time to turn inward and begin to move toward the light of who you really are, and be willing to do that in the face of your own fears and in the face of the daunting objections of others and the obstacles that actually maybe reorienting your life will involve. Saying yes to that journey is the beginning, I believe, of inner peace. And that's what this course is about, is to offer at least what I've discovered so far in making that internal pilgrimage, that you too can join me as we all collectively move toward that place where we feel as though we're coming home and reconnecting with who we really are. I believe that it's perhaps the most profound thing you can do for the world peace is to make those steps and undertake that internal journey to find that peace within you. It's infectious. And so in service to you, in service to the world's peace, in service to your happiness, and if your happiness is there, it'll be shared by others, including mine. Let's begin the course.